All right, people, good late morning, and we're firing early again. It's Pass Rush Friday, but it's a Wednesday. Again, I know people are not going to be thinking about this stuff when we got a game day. Although I don't know if people are really thinking about anything with the Seahawks all that much right now because the team, they're not bad, but they're not quite there where we want them to be yet, and it's just kind of a little bit. I mean, I empathize a little bit with it, right? It is just a little bit lifeless at this moment where you don't know if they're going to get in, you don't know if they're not going to get in, you don't know if they have control over it. It's like we're just hanging here waiting to see what happens. So, we're going to go ahead with our Pass Rush Friday, and it wasn't bad. I'll say that. It's not bad. Would have been significantly better and probably would have resulted in a win if Byron Murphy's sack did not get taken off the board and Derek Hall's sack did not get taken off the board. They both had sacks get taken away by penalty. Murphy's was obviously his fault, even though it was an accident, kind of a freak play. And you also had the sack by Derek Hall get taken away by Trey Brown. That would have probably swung the game, but so it is. All right. Defensive line here, and we're right near the end of the season now, so we can really start getting an idea of how this stuff fits in. Leonard Williams, he got credited for a pressure. Jaron Reed got two. So Reed played a really nice game, one of his best games of the season, and that's it. Murphy would have had the pressure on his sack if it had counted, and Hankins and Roy Robertson Harris are just relative non-impacts right now. They as in they didn't even play. They may as well have not played in that game for how little they played. So you're talking about three guys right now, and that's not a good position to be in. And that's why we're just not getting the numbers that we need here. Like, look at where I was before the season started with the defensive line. I thought Byron Murphy was going to be a solid, consistent source of pressure. Not even close. I know that he's getting some PFF pressures, but he's not getting PFR pressures. And that's the difference between a player who is getting impactful pressure and a player who's getting technical pressure. And look, he's young. He's got time. I'm going to give him time, but I thought we were going to do a little better than this. I'll put it to you that way. And I think it's fair to say we should have gotten a little bit better given the hype around him and given the opportunities he's been afforded as a player that has played a lot this year. And then the other culprit, of course, is Mike Morris, who I thought was going to break out this year, not even close. And I think that's actually been the big problem with this defensive line to me. I thought that Mike Morris was going to be an impactful part of this rotation. He can't even get on the field. We think so little of him, we traded for Roy Robertson Harris. And we think so little of Roy Robertson Harris that we barely play him now. But at least we play him. We don't even play Mike Morris. So that's a very disappointing failure. And I that's the main disconnect here. That makes up the disconnect because Leonard Williams and Jaron Reed, you can see they've met or surpassed my expectations this year. And the other guys I didn't have much in the way of expectations for. Linebacker, again, like I don't want to act like this 23 number means anything because obviously I was expecting that Jerome Baker and Tyrell Dodson would start the whole year. They did not. But Ernest Jones, one of the best blitzing linebackers in the league, he can't get home. He's gotten some PFF pressure, but no PFR pressure. I don't know if he's got a quarterback hit on the year. So to me, Ernest Jones, he's playing well. He's done a lot of good things for this defense. I'm not taking anything away from what he's done to transform McDonald's defense overall. But the fact that we can't get any quarterback pressure out of him is disappointing. Tyrese Knight, nothing this week either. He's doing his thing, though. He's doing his thing. He's got 3 on the year, which if I had known he was going to start most of the year, I probably would have said somewhere around 3. And that's about it. And by the way, real quick, I should point out that I got these numbers earlier than I usually do. Usually I wait until Thursday to get the pass rush numbers, or maybe even really early Friday, just to give them the opportunity to get all their corrections up. So it's possible PFR updates in the next couple of days, and these numbers end up being inaccurate. But I got to fire now. So if they update today or tomorrow, then I'm going to be off a little bit. But yeah, nothing from the inside linebackers, and you can see how that's added up. I thought we were going to get some pretty serious pressure from inside backers this year. We got 8 pressures in 15 games, average of 1 pressure every 2 games, basically. I thought we were going to be bringing something a little more impactful than that. I thought it was going to be something like 1 a game. Edge rusher though, it's not bad. And remember, like I said, Derek Hall had a sack taken away by the Trey Brown penalty. So Uchenna Nwosu, people beating up on him a little bit this week, understandably so. But it is worth noting they did give him a couple pressures on PFR. So I do think that Uchenna Nwosu, while we may not be able to justify his price tag this offseason, is playing. And I don't want to completely ignore that just because it's not living up to the price tag. And I think that there will be an argument to be made in the offseason that we need to bring him back because the savings are not sufficient to justify giving up on the guy. I'm going to be open to it. Boye Mafe, 1 pressure, which I think was the sack. And I mean, it would have had to have been the sack. Derek Hall, 2 pressures, including a sack that was kind of a garbage sack, but whatever. Sacks are sacks. And Draymond Jones gets 1. So you look at the big picture here, man. You look at the big picture. The main problem with our edge rotation was that Nwosu missed almost the whole season. And that's not really anybody's fault except Wyatt Teller. Mafe, yeah, I thought he was going to be better, but at the same time, that might be injury related as well, right? Look at how good he was at the start of the year. He was cooking. And then after he got, he missed a game with an injury. And since then, it hasn't been the same. And Derek Hall has surpassed my expectations. So is Draymond Jones. Like, this edge room is going to be pretty close to what I was hoping for this year. So, hey, that's nice. I think the frustration with this group is just that none of these guys look like stars or superstars. They just all look like good players, except for Draymond Jones. Right? Draymond Jones looks like a mediocre player that has been valuable this year. But I don't know if I would call Draymond Jones a good player all around. And, there are other issues too. Derek Hall's not playing the run well at all, really. And Mafe, maybe you were expecting him to make a leap up. But I think if you're a little more objective about it, this is not a bad edge room at all. It just lacks superstar power. And that's why we talk about trading for a superstar edge at some point in the next offseason. But that's a conversation for another time. Cornerback, Devin Witherspoon, PFF didn't give it to him. I don't know what they're thinking. That would the play, you guys know the play I'm talking about, the massive blitz we sent. Witherspoon clearly got pressure. I'm not depriving him of that. So Witherspoon gets a pressure. So he's up to 6 on the year. And the cornerback room is about where I thought it would be. Would not surprise me if next year you see this wing of the Mike McDonald defense really just explode all over the place. And you see Witherspoon getting maybe double-digit pressures. But for this year, it's a little more subdued, which is not unexpected to me. And nothing from the safeties. So you got 10. You got your double digits. You got 10 pressures. Hey, that's okay. It's not where we want to be, but it's pretty good. It's close, right? I can take close sometimes. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Have a good Christmas.